When you bring a creature into your life, you hope to have a buddy who will stay with you and perhaps play out certain stunts for your entertainment. You don't expect that they'll one day spare your life. Truly, now and again it feels like we don't merit pets. Here 19 are outstanding and inspiring accounts of pets whose bold and courageous activities spared their proprietors' lives. You should have a tissue convenient for this one. 1. Todd the Golden Retriever. This is Todd. He's a brilliant retriever, a little guy from Arizona. Todd was on a stroll with his proprietor Paula when they happened upon a rattler. Todd quickly hopped before Paula to secure her, and the rattler bit him. Fortunately, Todd had the option to make a total recuperation. What a legend. 2. Buddy the German Shepherd. On the 4th of April, 2010, a fire broke out in Ben Heinrich's workshop as he was doing support on his truck. His home was close by and at risk for being trapped in the blast. Neighbors saw the flares and called 911. State Trooper Terrence Shanigan began making a beeline for the property, yet his GPS gadget gave out as he was passing through the remote Alaska byways. He was going to make an off-base turn when somewhere off to the side, he saw a shadow. It was Buddy, Heinrich's German Shepherd. He wasn't running from me, however was driving me, Shanigan said. I just felt like I was being driven. It's only something or other that we're thinking in the same spot for that short minute. Pal drove the trooper directly to the property and had the option to keep Heinrich and the family home safe. 3. Molly the Yellow Lab. One night, Molly woke a human up by over and again tapping her feet on the floor by his bed. Only 3 minutes after the fact, the alarms began going off in the house. On account of Molly's brisk reasoning, everybody had the option to empty to well-being. She spared the lives of 7 individuals, 2 dogs, and 4 cats. 4. Tara the Hero Cat. On the 13th of May, 2014, 4-year-old Jeremy Triantafilo was riding his bicycle in the garage of his home. Out of nowhere, a local pooch surged over to Jeremy and bit his leg. Without thinking twice, Tara the dark-striped feline got a move on, handled the pooch. She at that point pursued him away and returned to keep an eye on Jeremy. This next story is totally inconceivable. 5. Con the Doberman Pinscher. In 2007, the Svilsik family embraced Con from a nearby creature cover. Only 4 days after the fact, he started acting forcefully toward 17-month-old Charlotte as she played in her family's yard. Charlotte's mom got frightened, figuring the pooch may assault a little girl, however she was totally off base. Truth be told, Con had detected a king brown snake that was going to strike Charlotte. Con snatched Charlotte by her diaper and tenderly removed her from mischief's way, at that point put himself between the young lady and the snake. The snake bit Con, yet his proprietors had the option to rapidly get him to a vet. He made a full recuperation. 6. Mr. Boo the Cat. One night, the Keksks were woken by their family feline, Mr. Boo. I woke up to my feline howling. He never howls. He normally just squeaks or doesn't whimper by any stretch of the imagination. It's in reality sort of a joke in our family, Ariana Keksk said. He was kind of bumbling down the corridor, and he simply continued whimpering. He appeared to sort of need us to get us out of the house. The family at last observed Mr. Boo's admonitions and gone out. They at that point found that the gas evaporator in their storm cellar was spilling carbon monoxide into the home. Without Mr. Boo, the whole family may have died. 7. A group of dolphins. There are really a few tales about dolphins sparing individuals' lives. However, the present story is about a surfer named Todd Endress. He was surfing at Monterey Bay's Marina State Beach when out of nowhere an extraordinary white shark started assaulting him. Out of nowhere a gathering of dolphins encompassed Endress, making a divider among him and the shark. They were going completely insane and truly spared my life, Endress said. I feel like they were hopping over the highest point of me and swarming around me. Endress' companions had the option to act the hero him from the water. 8. Dory the Rabbit. In 2004, a diabetic man named Simon Stegel unobtrusively slipped into an oblivious state because of low glucose. His better half Victorian idea he had only nodded off while staring at the TV. It was then that Stegel's pet hare Dory started bouncing on his chest and pounding angrily on the ground. That made Victoria investigate and understand her significant other's critical clinical circumstance. She promptly called the specialists who had the option to restore Stegel. 9. Mandy the goat. Noel Osborne, an Australian rancher, slipped while accomplishing deal with his homestead and seriously harmed his hip. He was stuck in the fierce Australian components for a few days before somebody stopped by and discovered him. Fortunately, Osborne's goat Mandy comprehended he was in trouble. She remained close to him around evening time so as to keep him warm and even permitted him to drain her, so he had some sustenance as he sat tight for his inevitable rescuers. Next up is the unfathomable story of Kai the Chihuahua. 10. Kai the Chihuahua. Kai's proprietors Rick and Mary Lane were getting a charge out of some vacation at a seashore in North Carolina when Kai, who was fastened to a seashore seat, unexpectedly started yapping an alert. The Lanes said they had never heard him bark that way and knew promptly that something must not be right. They watched out into the water and saw two old ladies in a perilous circumstance. One of them had been maneuvered into a riptide by a maverick wave, and the other was attempting urgently to haul her companion out. The Lanes surged over to support the ladies, and Kai was proclaimed a legend by all. 11. Honey the Cocker Spaniel. Michael Borsch chose to take his pooch Honey out with him as he got a few things done. As he was driving his SUV on the rocky streets close to his home, the vehicle lost footing and tumbled down into a gorge. Borsch was totally stuck by a tree appendage, however Honey had the option to escape through the messed up traveler window. She went directly to Borsch's neighbor's home, which she had never been to, and made them aware of the mishap. On account of Honey's brightness, Borsch was safeguarded, and his life was spared. 12. Willie the Parrot. In 2009, a parrot named Willie started shouting the words, "Mother. Infant. Mother. Infant." Megan, the feathered creature's proprietor, had never heard him assemble those words previously. She promptly hurried to keep an eye on the young lady she was looking after. Children found that she was gagging. Megan played out the Heimlich move on the young lady, and her life was spared. Willie got an honor from the Red Cross for sparing the young lady's life. 13. Lulu the pot-bellied pig. Joanne Altman consented to take care of Lulu for her girl one day, yet it wound up being Lulu who spared Altman's life. Altman endured a respiratory failure while her better half was away on an angling trip. Lulu figured out how to press herself through the house's doggy entryway and went out to the fundamental street. There, she halted traffic by laying in the street until somebody escaped their vehicle and followed her back to Altman's home. 14. Kilo the pit bull. At the point when a robber endeavored to break into Justin Becker's home, it was Becker's pit bull Kilo who took decisive action and made all the difference. The interloper attempted to push his way in through the front entryway, yet Kilo was prepared and hanging tight for him and started to assault. The man shot Kilo in the head yet left without taking anything or hurting any other person. Kilo experienced a few wounds the discharge yet had the option to make a full recuperation. This next story is about a pigeon. 15. Jeremy the pigeon. On the 3rd of October, 1918, Major Charles Whittlesey and his men got caught behind adversary lines without nourishment or ammo. They lit getting well-disposed fire from associated troops who didn't have a clue about their area. Whittlesey chose to communicate something specific by pigeon. The main pigeon was destroyed. So was the subsequent pigeon. And afterward Whittlesey sent his third and last homing pigeon, Jeremy. Jeremy was shot through her chest, blinded in one eye, and her left leg was gravely harmed. However, she figured out how to make it back to base camp and convey her significant message. Her brave flight spared the lives of 194 men. Doctors had the option to spare her life and even cut another leg for her. She got a few honors for her mind-blowing administration. 16. Sergeant Reckless the Warhorse. Foolish was a little horse purchased by Lieutenant Eric Peterson from a court in Seoul. During the Battle of Panmunjom, Vegas, she made 51 solo trips to and from ammo delivery sites under enemy fire. She was additionally used to clear injured fighters. She got a few honors for her military assistance, including a Good Conduct Medal, a National Defense Service Medal, a Korean Service Medal, an UN Service Medal, a Republic of Korea Presidential Unit citation, and 2 Purple Hearts. 17. Scarlett the cat. In 1996, a carport where Scarlett and her 5 cats had been living was set on fire. The New York Fire Department came to extinguish the fire and discovered this fearless mom feline who had been seriously harmed and blinded by the fire. In any case, she strolled once again into the inferno 5 separate occasions to safeguard her cats. A fireman had the option to take every one of the 6 felines to a nearby vet facility where they were dealt with and in the end embraced out into adoring homes. 18. 3 lions in Ethiopia. In 2005, a 12-year-old young lady was captured from her home and beaten by 7 men who were endeavoring to compel her into union with one of them. The little youngster had been absent for 7 days when cops at last discovered her, encompassed by 3 lions who were standing watchmen. When the lions saw the specialists, they smoothly left. 19. Fidge the cat. Wendy Humphries claims that her feline Fidge spared her life by detecting malignancy covered up inside her correct bosom. From the outset, Humphries was engaged by Fidge's propensity for laying on her bosom. Fidge proceeded with this conduct for 2 entire weeks until Humphries at last chose to visit her primary care physician and was informed that she had a harmful irregularity.